Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now October 3rd of 2021. I hope you're all having an amazing day. We are getting closer to the release of the Book of Boba Fett, and now that we're in the month of October, we're only getting very close to the official teaser trailer of the Book of Boba Fett, where we're going to be getting that official main first look at the show on Disney Plus Day, specifically November 12th. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01. If you guys want to go ahead and go on there and give me a follow, I do post a couple of fun and entertaining things from time to time and interact with you guys further and all those, great things. Now, when we go ahead and look at everything related to what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are doing, alright? They are working on over a dozen Star Wars projects, as we already know. But what we do, of course, know already is the fact that they are working on The Mandalorian Season 3 as we speak. Filming is happening. They are going to be moving on to filming the Ahsoka Tano series in Q1 of 2022. So we pretty much have this nice, assembly line of Star Wars TV shows being made for a very long time now throughout this year, 22 and 23, and then as we go into 24, that's when things are really going to truly evolve for the franchise, where you're going to see shows that you would have never expected to have seen. We've gone over this a couple of days ago. Now, given that, of course, Jon and Dave, they are bringing back Star Wars Legends, that's their main goal, in order to drag the fans back into the series, right? They want to recapture the lost fans that walked away from the franchise after they saw the sequel trilogies end, after they witnessed GINA Carano's firing. They want to try their absolute best to get those types of fans back in action and back into the Star Wars world. And I think that they're going to be able to accomplish that as long as the Book of Boba Fett succeeds and really does prove that things can really be done without any filler. And Robert Rodriguez said this show is all killer, no filler. So just imagine that, alright? We're gonna have a lot of fun with that show. So with that being said, however, everything that comes into line with Disney CEO Bob Chapek, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are currently developing their new Star Wars projects like Star Wars Ahsoka, The Mandalorian Season 3, and even the Book of Boba Fett, both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are currently getting ready to announce new Star Wars shows at Star Wars Celebration, and with new teases coming our way on Disney Plus Day as well. However, currently many changes have been happening behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm by Disney CEO Bob Chapek. One of the major changes had to do with the recent cancellation of a major Star Wars project that was set to be announced at Star Wars Celebration for Disney Plus. Now, on top of this, it's explained that originally Kathleen Kennedy, when she held creative power, had initiated plans for a High Republic Star Wars trilogy that was going to be released on the Disney Plus platform and would be in live-action form. Now, the 3 films were going to be mid-budget movies that would explore the brand new era of the High Republic of Star Wars that would be adapted from the comics and books that launched not so long ago. Now, with each film going over an in-depth story of characters facing the Nile, world disasters, and even new foes that would have been introduced. However, recently Bob Chapek made the call to cancel this trilogy for 2 reasons. Number 1 is that Chapek realized that the High Republic books and comics are not getting the type of reception that they were aiming for. Chapek does now, of course, realize that it holds support, but sees a divide between Star Wars fans over these stories. Chapek recently met up with Kathleen Kennedy and discussed his reasons to pull the plug on those films that would have been Disney Plus features for 2024. Chapek also canceled the series due to the fact that he believes that it may have been the wrong choice of movies to release as a trilogy, and especially on the Disney Plus platform. This turned into a frustrating period for Kathleen Kennedy and why she has remained silent for some time now about Star Wars. Now, though there are new solo films and trilogies currently being planned, this High Republic trilogy is no longer happening as of now, and has been cancelled permanently under Chapek's decision. The films were going to be far less violent than the prequels and sequel films, and that Kathleen Kennedy wanted to steer these films to explore Star Wars movies that would not involve so many wars per se. Now, that is what got Chapek worried. of how it would not involve any wars and how it would have actually created this backlash from the fans. Disney's higher-ups also saw potential backlash for this trilogy, as there were plans by Kennedy to use this trilogy as a marketing strategy, to ignore the older fans and to create new ones, to accept everything moving ahead with those films not having major wars. Chapek is said to talk about this decision of his in 2022 when they go over their earnings report for 2022 that will provide more details about the entire situation. Now let me say one thing about this, alright? You can't have no wars in Star Wars films. Period. The end. You know, I know that some of you out there might like that idea, and that's fine. You know, everybody has their own opinion, but let's face it, wars is in the title of this franchise. And when you have Star Wars, you really can't take that aspect out of the show, right? It's kind of like Marvel being about superheroes and taking the superhero element out of those movies and or TV shows. It just does not work. So when you go ahead and look at everything related to Disney Plus as a platform, they want to focus especially on the fact that they are going to be focusing on what John and Dave want to do with Legends. Now, this High Republic trilogy that was canceled, I think that Chapek made the right call. Hey, I mean, some of you guys out there might like the High Republic books and comics, and we're even looking forward to the High Republic films that were actually in early development. You guys may have been looking forward to that, but I personally was not looking forward to any kind of live action adaptation of those books and comics because I've read through those books and comics. I actually took the time to see what they were all about, if it was really that bad or if it was really that good. And honestly, guys, it just wasn't for me. It just was not for me as a Star Wars fan and as an enthusiast. So when we look at everything related to that, I think that Chapek does realize the fact that this would have been a disaster. It wouldn't have worked, given the fact that Kathleen Kennedy, number one, wanted to take wars out of those films, and number two, was using this as a strategy to move away from the old trilogy fans, right? The original trilogy fans. And that to me is just wrong. You know, when you think about it this way, George Lucas is the man who created Star Wars. Nobody would be standing here today. Jon Favreau wouldn't be here. Dave Filoni wouldn't be here. Anything like that would not be here if it weren't for George Lucas. And we all got to thank the guy for what he did back in '77 and for what he did to bring the original trilogy to a close and even giving us the prequel trilogy films. I know that some fans hate the prequels, and that's fine, but you know what? At the end of the day, in my point of view, the prequels are more Star Wars than the sequel trilogy movies. That's just my take on that. There are, you know, a couple of points in the sequels where they did it right, like a couple of scenes here and there. But when you look at them as a whole, they really got it wrong. So now, of course, I think that Chapek made the right call. He really dodged a bullet, as I would like to say. He really dodged a big bullet. I think that, you know, the fact that he did that was very smart. And I think that he realizes that he wants to keep this momentum. He wants to keep this momentum of positivity rolling in order to prove to the fans that, yes, Disney can do such a thing when it comes to Star Wars. So, overall, guys, I would really like to hear what you have to say about this entire situation. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.